Welcome to Who's Thinking Different? I'm joined today by Heather Wayland of the DF Barnes Group. Heather's going to tell us about her training innovation. Heather, thank you for joining me.
No problem. It's nice being here.
I'm excited. We get to talk a little bit about innovation, specifically your recent quarterly win. But before we do that, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. I'm Heather Whalen. I'm the HSE manager for DF Barnes. We take care of a number of locations here in Newfoundland. So we have one that we're going to talk about particularly today was in Voisey's Bay. That's with DFB Driver. We have another place out in Long Harbour with DFB Driver. In St. John's, we have Extreme East Rigging, DF Barnes Coatings, DF Barnes Services, Fabrication, and we also have a new entity as well that we're dealing with building PPE, and we have a new facility over on Pippi Place as well. So we have a bunch of locations here in Newfoundland.
Well, it sounds like your plate is definitely full out there.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. Oh, and I didn't mention Bull Arm as well, that we're taking care of all the offshore rigs and stuff out there too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell me about this innovation. I think it kind of touches on a bunch of these areas, or could possibly touch on a bunch of these areas. Tell us what it is and the impact it's had on your team.
Absolutely. So when COVID struck back in March, where Voisey's Bay is in a remote area in Labrador, and it's only a fly-in, fly-out camp area. So it's surrounded by a lot of small communities, and a lot of the people that work in Voisey's Bay are the Indigenous, and they were very worried about COVID at the time, so they really cut down on the numbers on site. They actually cut down to the point of they didn't have people there trained to be able to do some of the safety systems there to be able to go underground. One of it was called fit testing. So basically people that had to wear half-face or full-face respirators, they had no one there to be able to do the testing in order for them to be fit tested to go down into the mine. And a lot of them were about ready to expire. So one of the guys was actually with our facility and they were asking us what we could do. So I reached out to Occupational Health and Safety here in Newfoundland and said, listen, I have the training here. We have all of the equipment up on site. If we were able to call in by Zoom, I would make sure that the person who's actually going to conduct the test has a half-face respirator on, so we're not breaking any COVID protocols or anything like that. Could I instruct them on step-by-step on how to do the test to ensure that we can certify these people? And they approved it and gave us a letter stating that we could do that for valet. So it started off with I was just going to do a couple of guys on our team to ensure that they could go down in the mine. And then valet realized that we were able to do that and we had the testing equipment there. So we ended up doing a bunch of subcontractors, some valet employees as well. So it worked out really well. We didn't have to stop the work or not have the training there for the people, and everybody really appreciated the efforts that we did. So it was a little different. At the time, we were all working from home, so I'm looking at people from Voisey's Bay from a kitchen type thing, but it worked out really, really well.
So tell me about the impact here. It sounds like if this hadn't got approved, it could have had some pretty negative impacts on the site.
Absolutely. We weren't really sure what they were going to do to be able to go down and get the work done. The site normally has about 600 to 700 people there, and they went down to about 130. And those 130 were essential workers. So if they're not able to go down with the proper training, and they're very vigilant on the training that is done there on site, then a lot of work wouldn't have been able to be conducted. So they thanked us for having the innovation. They thanked us for kind of looking outside of the box, and we just made sure that all the other subcontractors were covered, because not a lot of subcontractors have that gear or are trained to do that, but we offered it to everybody.
So tell me about the response from the client when you guys proposed this.
They were, at first, they just wanted to make sure that we weren't breaking protocol with legislation, understandably. So we got a letter and everything put in place by Occupational Health and Safety to send that in. And they were just so surprised with the innovation and our willingness to go out there and help with the safety team. And we're very appreciative of it because it just made sure that they were able to conduct their work and it didn't slow anybody down. And our client with commissioning with valet was just over the moon about it. So it worked out really well for everybody.
And this seems, you're using it on one particular site, but this seems like if needed, this same strategy could be used elsewhere.
Yeah, we since then we needed to be able to instruct on how to get a lot of the fire extinguishers and things like that done, and where they have a strict rule of how many people can go on site. I asked if we could do it virtually with the fire commissioner, and Valley Safety is working with them now. So basically, they'll send up the gear. We'll be able to do it by Zoom, and they can still recertify a bunch of different things out there. So it's really changed the way that people are thinking about recertification, or do they actually physically have to be there, or can we help out in some other way to make sure that these things are being done?
And this really feels like, you know, it was obviously spurred on through the COVID pandemic, but it seems like pieces of this could stay after we get through the pandemic in terms of a change in how we do things moving forward.
Absolutely. We actually only talked about it the other day when I was in Boise's with the safety team, meaning the amount of people that you actually have to bring on site now. We can do a lot of this virtually. And it just really opened our eyes to a lot of that. You always thought that physically that person had to be there, but just even online training and things that we're able to do now in the safety world, it just makes more sense. And I think it's here to stay.
Yeah, I think this is, you know, we're getting a glimpse into the future and things to come. So I'm really excited and happy that you brought this forth. I think it's a great innovation. Definitely very worthy of the quarterly win. So congratulations on that. And thank you very much for joining me.
No problem. Anytime.
Heather, thank you again for taking a little bit of time to talk to us about your innovation today. And congratulations on your quarterly win. Everybody else, keep thinking different.